It's been a week, man.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Ready to stand out, Army ROTC prepares you not only as a college student, but as a strong leader, allowing you to earn the rank of second lieutenant. You will be eligible for full tuition merit-based scholarships and develop leadership skills essential for your future. Start strong and enhance your college experience. Visit your campus Army ROTC representative today. To find out how you can earn up to a full tuition scholarship, visit goarmy.com/podcast to locate your closest ROTC program today. Army officers inspire, strengthen others. Paid for by the United States Army.
At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I only have a certain budget.
No problem. Right now at the LASIK Vision Institute, get 20% off LASIK when treated in April. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing options. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your journey towards 20/20 vision. Must mention this promotion and be treated in April of 2024 to qualify. 20% off standard price of Wave Light procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to GetLVILASIK.com for details. At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I'm so busy right now.
We offer a mix of convenient days and times, including 30-minute virtual appointments to fit your schedule.
I would love it, but I have astigmatism.
We treat thousands of patients with astigmatism every month with great outcomes. The LASIK Vision Institute is making your journey towards 20/20 vision all about you. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your LASIK journey.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis.
And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
The way I always do. How was I to know she was with the Russians too? I was gambling in Havana. I took a little risk. Send lawyers, guns, and money. Dad, get me out of this.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
And proudly
probably one of the craziest Chat Lives Matter nights we've had in a while, because in between my son kicking the main computer off the network because he's done something to his DNS settings, and me being completely exhausted, things are not going to plan, but we're here, we're live, and yeah, we weren't supposed to reset anything, but when I was trying to take us out of commercial break, I hit the wrong button, and then there was some things we had to figure out behind the scenes, because already got used to me doing things one way, and then I threw a change up at him, because I wasn't ready to make that change yet. Anyway,
I did everything short of removing Skype from my computer, and all of a sudden, hey, we're doing shit the old way.
Well, see, if you didn't live in the future, you would know this.
No,
he lives in the past. No, the East Coast folks live in the future. He lives in the past.
I live exactly when time is supposed to be. Y'all revolve around us.
That's not true, sir. It's called God's time zone for a reason.
What time zone has God in?
I mean, they call flyover country God's country, so I rest my case.
All right. I'm not going to argue with the Bible Belt.
It's the country that has the chunkless.
Now, you know who yeah. I mean, you know who controls the time? Where the space lasers are at, and the weather machines.
Yeah, I still want to get the invite to the Space Laser Complex. I'm just saying.
You see, that's the thing. Is that we worked out a deal with the Jews. Us Amish did, where they get to claim credit for the space laser, but it's really ours. So they just get blamed for the weather machine, really. But we're the one. Yeah, I don't know. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and I wish I was. Oh wait, that's the wrong answer. My bad.
So, I'm going to say this now. It's been bugging me for a little bit. Our fucking hostages are dead.
Right?
There are no hostages in Gaza. And you could tell that the moment the administration started saying, you know what, we might not send weapons to Israel because there was no bargaining chip anymore.
Yep.
Okay, good. We all agree.
Yeah, no. I've actually been saying that for a while, but that's another thing that pisses me off about this administration, because if they killed Americans, they should be glass.
Even Carter would try. I mean, he didn't do a good job of it, but he tried to go get the hostages in Iran. He put some very dumb ROEs on them, but. Well, for those of you who don't follow Mill Twitter or watch Mill YouTubes, that's rules of engagement.
Well, I mean,
they used the wrong group too, because
that too.
At that point in time, my brother was in the Air Force, and he told me about this. That they were going to go in. The Air Force was going to go in because they had the copters designed for flying in the sand.
Yeah,
and they went, let's use the Navy because we can land on carriers.
I had a teacher in high school. He was an actual legit Green Beret. And he was talking about sleeping on the tarmac in Egypt, waiting for the go word. Yep. They slept right next to the helicopters for several days, waiting for the go.
Well, I mean, so this is something about Joe Biden that either a lot of people didn't know or a lot of people just didn't care. Even with Obama as his vice president, anytime Obama wanted to take any kind of military action, he was the first one to say no. Every single time. No, I don't think we should do that. It'll just make the situation worse. No, I don't think we should do that. It'll just make things worse. This man has been milquetoast for pretty much the entire time he's been alive. And now he's milquetoast with brain damage, and it's even worse. I'm starting to think every politician in D.C. might have brain worms. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was actually, you know what? I'm going to give Kennedy credit for that. Just because it's like, fucking Kennedy's got brain worms. He's all, you're goddamn right I do. Well, fuck. I just took that arrow out of my quiver.
What's even worse, though, is he's like, you're goddamn right I do, and I'll eat 5 more and still debate you two fuckers and still kick your ass. I'm like, what the hell?
You know what? I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
I keep waiting to see Rod Serling out of the corner of my eye and have him start his voiceover, and I was like, you have now entered the Twilight Zone. What the heck? I was just like, yeah.
That is pure chaos timeline, and I am here for it. This is what I've always wanted.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Outer Limits. Outer Limits.
Yeah.
This is more Outer Limits than...
That's
okay, so even going with that, I'm going to throw a little nerd out here because I know you haven't seen it, Andrew. It's unofficially part of the Outer Limits universe. The Sand Kings.
Oh,
yeah, with Beau Bridges and Donald Sutherland. Yeah. So that was the brainworms. Alien brainworms was basically when you get to the gist of it. By the way, okay, I've been meaning to ask you, did you finish Firefly?
Not yet.
How far have you made
it? I got to episode 5.
Jamestown?
I got to rewatch 4 and 5 because it was on, and then I got work, and it's like,
okay,
really? So I want to go back and rewatch those so I can actually digest them without having the distractions.
Yeah, because you had Pilot, Train Job. I'm trying to remember what the Bushwhack. That was a good one. So,
yeah,
all right.
I wrote about that one and tagged you on it.
Yeah, no. I remember that I hadn't seen any since then, and I didn't know if it was because I was in between accounts. So,
yeah, I haven't made it yet.
Okay, all right, cool, good. You're doing the homework. That's important.
Well, I even showed it to my daughter and son-in-law. So this is the series I'm watching, and they're interested, but they got other series they're involved in right now, and they watch one a night after he gets off work and the grandbabies are in bed. And they're not big sci-fi people either.
Kick them out. Disown them. Take them out of the will.
I can't because me and my daughter do a Lord of the Rings extended trilogy marathon watching once a year.
Okay, that's it. Why would anybody watch the theatrical cuts anyway? I heard they're re-releasing a new super extended cut of Return of the King. Really? Wasn't it already 4 hours long?
Yeah, I heard.
It kind of makes you wonder what they left on the cutting room floor that they decided to put back in.
Yeah, the Grey Havens.
Maybe Tom Bombell.
Yeah, or the Battle, the Scourge of the Scouring of the Shire. God, that's hard to say.
Well, they did film all that, supposedly.
Did they? I heard they didn't. But they did. That's fantastic.
I mean, that was, I want to say, and this was years ago that I read this, that they had filmed it, and they just didn't, it wasn't finished, I don't think. And then it was kind of, that they felt it dragged the movie on too long.
Well, there's also, okay. And I agree. There's a YouTube channel I watch, In Deep Geek, and he kind of touched on this too, in that 1940s literature doesn't really lend itself well to 2020, or we'll even call it, we'll be generous, 2000 movie audiences, where the movie audiences wouldn't have understood. It's like, okay, the big climactic battle at Mordor, that's the end, that's the climax. They wouldn't have understood the
wrap up.
The wrap up, because the whole point of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, specifically that chapter of the book, is if you're not fighting for your home, what was it all for?
Right. And
they took all of their skills that they learned when they were out on the road. I mean, they would have learned much fewer if they had just taken the fucking Eagles, and brought them home. They didn't have the help of Gandalf or anybody else. They did it themselves. And that was kind of the... Yeah, thanks, Jeff. The Shire raising was the most important part of the series, and they left it on the cutting room floor.
Isn't that always the way it goes, though?
You could always do an Amazon series about it.
They could have.
They just screw. Oh wait, they did. Never mind. I was gonna say they just screwed it up, but they did. So
Okay, I'm gonna say Amazon redeemed themselves with Fallout, though.
And the funny thing is, I have seen people that have like absolutely despised that show, and I'm like, did you ever bother to play the video game before you start trashing this? Because there was just so much in there.
There were so many member berries in it, and so much fan service in it, and it was okay. So yeah, you've got the two camps of the blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, you obviously never played the video game, and blah 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 blah. Okay, you played that video game way too much. Because it's like, I mean, the nitpicky from the fan side, from the Fallout fan side, is just, oh my God, it's okay. Now you're just being petty. You want to be mad about this. Is basically what it boils down to. But yeah, I just watched it last week, and that I think they did. I just wrapped it up the other night. We're doing the "What are you watching?" early, apparently.
Not really, because it's already almost 9:30 anyway.
Was that?
I said not really, because we're already about what would normally be the halfway point anyway. So we're not that early.
Well, I enjoyed Fallout. And I've never played the video game. I never played a video game. I was entertained.
And that's what, you know what? I mean, I've played the video game. It actually, watching Fallout made me go back. I've watched some Let's Plays from like Fallout 1 where they did the whole story. They played the whole storyline. And I mean, and it was an open source game. It was an open world game, so you could play it however you wanted, with all the side quests and everything. But in the way that the story is supposed to unfold in the game, they played it through that way. And I was watching it and said, "That's actually, and all my member berries came back. It was just like, God damn, that was a really fantastic game at the time." And unless you were like a really old computer nerd, you didn't realize that game was supposed to be the unofficial sequel to a game called Wasteland. And then they just took on a life of its own. And, yeah.
Well, and I enjoyed Fallout. Going in cold, not knowing anything about it. I enjoyed it. Right?
Yeah.
And I know you didn't like this show because it didn't really pay a lot of homage, but I enjoyed it. It was Cowboy Bebop on Netflix.
Yeah, okay.
I went in cold. I had never seen the anime.
All right. Yeah, okay. Right. I could see it from that point, but if you were familiar with the anime, you didn't even have to be like a huge fan of the anime. Just that they tried to jam in. I'm not even going to say.
Yeah, well, I went back and watched the anime afterwards, and it's like, yes, they did a lot of. I'm going to take all of this and put it in this one episode in. Oh, wait a minute. It almost makes sense. And I understand that.
Yeah.
Right? But I went in cold. I don't know anything about Cowboy Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Then I could see it being fun. I mean, if I could go back in time, I'd probably, So.
I mean, there's a lot of things where everybody's like, well, it's not like the book. Well, it's like Wanted, the movie. Right? If you read the graphic novel and then you go watch the movie, as my oldest did, he walked out of the theater. He was pissed. It's nothing like the book.
Right.
Yeah. Who expects it to be like the book?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's just, there are some things to where you can't, especially with Hollywood and all like that, and some of it where you just can't take and not follow the book or the guide or the model that's presented before you. And then you can with some of them. Some of them they do, and it's really great. And some of them that, I watch them and I'm like, yeah, this is shit. And it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
But yeah,
sorry.
I legit enjoyed Fallout a lot. I hadn't actually watched the Cowboy Bebop thing because I never really got into the anime version either. I was like, you know what, just no. But it's funny because Loftus did a write up on it on the website and just like tore it apart. I'm just like, they're just people that just want to complain. I think, and that kind of goes back to what Orty was talking about a second ago. outrage has become this whole new thing anymore, where everybody thinks if I can just get one good shot in of telling everybody how outraged or pissed off I am about something, I'm going to be able to monetize all my social media, and the rest is history. So I honestly think I think that's part of it. I think they just shit post to shit post and hope it sticks.
That's happening on Twitter now.
Well, yeah.
Aggie posted about it. About this Deborah Jersey or whatever that's hammering on the porn star that found religion. Let's see if I can find it.
Nobody seemed to mind with Russell Brand fighting. Anyway.
Yeah.
The one thing, I'm going to go back and I want to read Loftus's take on it, because a lot of the anger, some of the anger I've seen with the protagonist being female, I'm thinking, okay, these are people who have never rolled a chick character in a video game, just because if you're going to stare at something's ass for the next 300 hours, you might as well enjoy it. For you non-video game players in third down isometric view. Anyway.
But yeah, no, I mean, and honestly, I know that was part of it. But again, that didn't really bother me, because in that game, you can either be a male or a female character. Right. Now, I wasn't one of the ones, because normally if I was playing the game, I was usually in first-person perspective anyway, so I didn't really care about checking out a virtual chick's ass all day. So I never really did that often. Now, I did when I played World of Warcraft, I did actually roll a few female characters, and when I was playing Star Wars, the Old Republic game, I did.
Yeah,
but only because some of the, it changed the storylines up a little bit, because at one point I was like, I'm going to do like every class and every thing and just see what this whole thing is, because therefore I was hooked on that game for a while, and then it went free to play, and I was like, you've trashed it, I'm done.
Oh wait, you're talking about the MMO?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of my characters in SWAT were female. Because that was third person isometric view. I mean, yeah, you could roll into first person, but third person isometric view. You just had that nice apple ass in front of you all day long. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Orty's playing games for hours at a time to prep to go to Circle K. That's what that's about.
That too.
Well, it's just
the universe is a flat circle.
I'm of the age where I had the early video games, Simon, Merlin, Atari Pong, and then that was it. I was out and didn't really get to play video games.
But to your point, they did make that game interesting enough to where not only was like every different class had a difference, not like the same storyline, but from different points of view.
Yeah.
But also with gender and character race too. So I found that kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I actually did play the original, the sandbox version on the consoles was actually how I got into that game. And then when they made it MMO, I was like, because at that point I'd kind of gotten burned out on war, because some of the last expansions were like, what are you doing to this game? So I'm done.
The worst thing was that the spaceflight thing, that it was just basically on rails. Ooh, we're putting spaceflight in. Everybody's excited. It's like, no, you're just in some fucking 80s video game that's on a, roller coaster, shoot all the TIE fighters that get in your way.
Yeah, but I mean, that was.
Wow, this got nerdy.
Well, I mean, this is us. This is what
There's
we
nothing
do.
wrong with shooting TIE fighters.
Empire did nothing wrong.
Free Palpatine. Oh wait, my bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mark Hamill has proven that the Empire did nothing wrong.
Dude, what is it with I mean, I guess these people just get so used to like believing their own press that eventually they just eat their own brains. I mean, is that what's going on with Hollywood? Do most of them have brain words too? Because I don't get it. That's like
I think it's the lack of oxygen.
Could be. Well, that's like.
I mean, you saw the corset Kardashian was wearing, right? She wasn't breathing.
Well, that's
Fortunately, nothing above the top of that corset required any oxygen or blood flow at all.
That's still not true.
Yeah,
man.
I said it.
There's a height requirement to being cool. You don't qualify.
Yeah, Jeff, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Excellent job.
See, and I know what my problem was. Is I tried playing these games with my kids, and I couldn't play them because I'd get sick.
Okay. That. Let me tell you a little gamer story. There's usually. Because I can get, there's like few games that'll do that to me too. You need to go in and turn motion blur off, because a lot of the games, if you like turn around real quick, they try to do the motion blur thing, and they do it so badly that it actually, I get that too.
That never really started bothering me until recently, but I think partly it's because I don't really play video games that much anymore, because I was watching my son play the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm done.
Well, I've always been like that though. Back when, was it Super or the Cube with the 3D? I think it was the Cube, Mario, the Water World or whatever it was, where they had the 3D and everything. Right? I got sick on those.
It's worse than water games, because Satisfactory, I had to turn that off like immediately. Or not Satisfactory, Subnautica. Don't even get me started about Sonic the Hedgehog, because there was an even harder and dumber game than that. Echo the Dolphin.
Oh God, I hated that game.
That game was so fucking hard and so stupid.
It's like, it's like at one point they were just trying to see what they could put out that was like as hard as possible. I'm like, this isn't about dropping quarters in slots anymore, guys. You can actually let us enjoy the game.
It's not Dragon Slayer, guys.
Yeah, that was a game I couldn't beat. I dropped a lot of quarters in Dragon Sailor.
And that was 50 cents too. That wasn't just like dropping. That was you were committed.
Yeah,
you had to just put a rolling quarter on the fucking game and tell everybody else this is mine until I lose it all.
This is mine until the money's gone. Go find something else to do.
And there weren't many respawns.
No.
But that was like the coolest game for the time though, because it was like completely like animated and everything else was like pixels, and I was that. But yeah, that
it was also on Laserdisc.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I tell you though, I thought Tron was the best one when those two were out.
Sorry.
It was always a toss. It was a toss up: Tron or Dragon Slayer. Tron or Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, Tron was a great game too. I was just going straight to tanks and like cycles. Fuck the disc game.
Dude, I hated the disc game.
Remember the tank game?
I was gonna say the Tron tank part reminded me of like the tank game from Atari. So I did like.
I can't remember the name of it, but it wasn't solid. It was all like basically black background with green lines.
Yeah, Battlezone.
Okay.
I loved that fucking game.
That was a cool game. I enjoyed playing that one. I used to rock at Centipede though.
See, mine was Tempest and Galaxia.
Tempest was cool, but my biggest problem I got with Tempest, I eventually got, it was like, okay, now I'm bored.
For you young kids, there used to be arcades.
No, actually, for me, I couldn't go to arcades, so I went to the bowling alley because I drink beer at the bowling alley.
Okay.
Right. See, remember, I'm old.
Well, yeah, but he said young kids. You don't qualify.
It's getting warm. Finally getting into summer here. I'll be making ball soup relatively soon.
Matzah? Wait, matzah or Amish?
Yes.
I get to go to the land of Surapian here in June.
Bring back poutine.
I will have poutine.
So yeah, this brings up an interesting point. Somebody who is in the chat right now accused me of being like from Canada because I have an accent or something.
Pick up, eh?
Hey,
It's like I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. But thank you for outing me.
you hosehead.
Thank you for outing me as an agent from the Canuck Intelligence Agency. Now I've been recalled. Nerd.
Canuckistan.
And you know the problem is we could do all the old references to that movie. She wouldn't know what we're talking about.
I mean,
fucking Vincent Charles has all these new crab rangoon memes, and I'm pissed off.
How did he do that? I mean, I got a whole mess of them that are showing up in my feed too.
Yeah. I love
need
when we
to
do
tag him.
posting. Well, you know, I've been in, like I said, being in between accounts, I'm missing a lot. I've got to get my algorithm back into swing on Orty. That was a really weird
That's why you
experience.
didn't make the list this week.
I'm sure. But that was a really interesting experience because going back over to Yoder, that doesn't have a blue check, has a third of the followers, dropping memes that I would usually get 100, 150 likes or whatever on. I was getting like 20 or 30. I was interacting with people I haven't seen in like 6 months just because they don't show. We're still all we're following each other on both accounts, but they're not piped into my feed.
Yeah.
It was a really. I'm gonna have to do it more often. It was a really different Twitter experience. It was interesting. It was fun. I'm not saying get thrown into Twitter more often. I mean, just pop on that account more often. Because like I got to interact with a lot of people, like I said, that I hadn't seen in a long time, along with a lot of the regulars too. It's just it was putting different people into my algorithm than usual.
Well, the other thing is, and I've noticed this too, and I've talked to Stacy and everybody else. When you start getting to the point where your feed gets super active, a lot of the people that get used to that, they put together a list, and that's kind of where they live, because then that's kind of how they make sure they interact with whoever they want to interact with. And
I've been playing with TweetDeck. I just don't like it.
I mean, technically you can do lists from the regular account, but TweetDeck is like a completely different animal. I hated it, and I went to work for Twitchy, and then had to get used to it. So
I just have notifications. Those people I want to see their tweets, I have them on notify. I get the notifications for them.
Yeah.
I'm in my notifications so much anyway, I barely pop my head up for air. Usually I'm battling some retard.
Yeah, your TL is usually full of retard bashing, and I'm
Your
there for
two toys from yesterday really got dragged today. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I had to mute it because I didn't want to come back to 1,000 notifications at work, but I saw that he got copy pasted 129 times. So nice.
Well, and then Larry Correa.
Oh, fun.
First thing this morning, I pop on there and I see Larry's written something, and I'm like, who's he dragging here? Oh, Orty's chew toy.
That working out well for him? Is that going the way? No wonder he promptly he never did answer my question. Name one counterinsurgency program the United States won, since it was one.
Only that one?
Jeff, you're killing me. He's dropping poutine in chat.
Yeah, I know. I see it. I'm getting hungry too, bastard. I already ate too.
I'm gonna drop the first tweet of that, Orty.
Okay.
Because I posted it over in the DM, chat DM. But
Cron's back too. If you didn't notice, he got his suspension lifted.
Yeah. But yeah, it just, that poor man, that retard got dragged hard.
He deserved it.
You know, the problem with poutine, guys, is
nothing.
If you get, if it's their brown gravy on the fries, on that poutine, it better have a beef flavor to it. All right?
Or pork.
It's got to have some type of flavor. It can't just be, there's no flavor. And that's a lot of problems with the poutine.
Gravy is a flavor.
And I agree with you most of the time, but when it's just flour,
yeah.
No.
132 copy pastas on him now. That's great. That's fantastic.
I was just like, yeah, Stacy and I had the gravy argument earlier today because she was saying something something about the Brits, and I'm like, yeah, well, these are the same people that eat beans on toast for breakfast. She's like, I'd rather eat that, and I'm like, over biscuits and gravy? Are you insane? She's like, I hate gravy. Gravy's used for paper mache. Like,
She has no business being in Georgia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's hard to believe she's in Georgia.
You know, it's like the meme.
Well, that's just it.
The Legos have a warning on them not to eat, but British food doesn't. Think about that for a second.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is you got to remember she's not actually from Georgia. She's been in Georgia for a long time, but she's actually from New York. So it probably explains her.
That explains
it. Probably explains her lack of
Yeah.
love for gravy.
You tell her I said that too. Yeah, poutine is the real ambrosia. You give me poutine and the original Molson Golden, I'm a happy boy. Before pre-Coors. You know what was good was Molson Ice. I liked that too. When the whole ice beer phase was going around.
Yeah, that was actually what got me used to being able to drink beer. And granted, I drink really, really dark beers now. So eventually, I did get big boy taste buds, Jeff. Before you say anything, but the ice beers were what got me to the point where I could start drinking them because I hated the taste of beer at first. And I was like, well, screw it. It's not like I'm drinking it because how it tastes. I'm drinking it because how I feel afterwards.
Molson Ice was awesome, and then there was an offshoot. It was a Molson product, I think, but they were making it down in like Wisconsin or something called Ice House. That was also fantastic.
You know what I missed from the 80s?
What's that?
Cocaine. James. Well, I missed the cocaine of the 70s.
Bartles and James. Kimmy C and I were doing a Bartles and James commercial throwback a few weeks ago before I got suspended with their commercial bit on how to flavor your ice with Bartles and James. And then the next commercial was, and we forgot to tell you the recipe.
Those commercials were so much fun back in the day.
They really were.
Well, I showed my son-in-law asked me if I'd seen the Tom Brady roast on Netflix.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
I've heard about it. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't seen it, but I'm like, that's not a roast, guys. I told him it wasn't a roast. Now, you want to see a roast, then I got on the YouTube and got one of the Dean Martin roasts on there.
God, those are so great. Dean Martin's roast to Johnny Carson, fan-fucking-tastic. Back when the Friars Club was a thing.
Well, this one had Don Rickles.
Oh, even better.
Good Lord. Wow.
And then it segued into Don Rickles' when he was on Johnny Carson's show over the years. I mean, it started way back when they had the women would bring the guests out to the Johnny, and they didn't even have a desk at that point in time.
They were doing the Donahue chair thing, Donahue chair set.
Yeah. And Glenn Campbell was on. My son-in-law's like, "Who's that?" I said, "That's a famous movie. That's a country music star." "Who?" I said, "Glenn Campbell." He's like, "I don't know him." Yeah, I know.
We know. Yeah, thinking about the Dean Martin Don Rickles roast. That's like threatening the bomb factory with a bomb.
Right,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Don Rickles, god damn, he was fucking fantastic.
I loved him. I still love listening to him. I love
Him and
listening
Buddy
to the
Hackett.
Yep, I love listening to those old comedians because the best part about it is there was nothing off limits.
Yeah.
I mean, even last night when we were watching it, my son-in-law looked at me and goes, "Did he just say something about Jews?" I said, "Yeah, he's Jewish. Of course he's going to mock the Jews."
Sammy Davis Jr., that was like half his shtick.
Mm-hmm.
So we know what Andrew's watching. We know what I'm watching. What are you watching, Rick?
Lately I've been watching the weather.
Exterminators.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exterminators who keep having to tell me now we got to come back and do this next, and the weather because Mother Nature keeps trying to wipe my state off the map right now.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of tornadoes going around that whole area. I mean, all the way out to Tennessee. So careful, guys.
Fucking pathological.
Yeah, and the trick is build a blanket fort. Blanket forts are impenetrable.
Pillow fort.
That too. The pillows are the foxhole. The blankets are the fort.
But and I got to start my drive tomorrow. So I get to have all that fun. I'm going to Maryland, guys.
Well, at least it's real.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
True. I get to travel all the way out to Maryland. I just got to find somebody to let me sleep with them. No, wait. Crash or pad.
Yeah, I was going to say, rephrase that. I went back to the end of season 2 of The Witcher so I could watch season 3 in preparation for season 4.
I lost interest in that one like 2 episodes into season 2, and I was like, you know what? It was hard enough for me to get into the first time, and I just, So I didn't even know there was a season 3 or that there was about to be a season 4. So.
Yeah, season 4 is when Liam Hemsworth takes over from
Henry Cavill.
Oh, God damn. Thank you, Henry Cavill. Because, Cavill, he was true to his word. When the showrunners start departing from the show, from the source material, I'm out. Nobody believed him.
Well, that's because everybody says that, and then they don't actually do it. And he's like, no, guys, I was serious. Deuces. I mean, how many times have you seen that in Hollywood specifically? If this happens, I'm done. And then, never mind.
I'm moving to France.
I was just kidding. Never mind. I didn't think it was actually going to happen. But yeah, no, other than that, I mean, some of the new stuff's back on regular TV. Like, I've been watching this season of The Rookie. Actually starting to lose disinterest with that one, even with Nathan Fillion. So I'm like, And then there's a new crime drama, well, new-ish, that it took me a minute to get into. That's kind of decent, but it's Will Trent, and the whole premise is just a little weird because watching a Mexican guy with a thick Georgian accent just really throws me off. But it's kind of like that Asian comic dude that's from Tennessee. I can't think of it. I think his name's like Henry Cho.
Okay.
And he's like, and no, this is really how I talk. And yes, I am Asian. And he's talking, with the thick Tennessee, like
Korean.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was Korean. But yeah, he's like, I really am Korean, and this is my real voice. And everybody just dies laughing because he sounds like Jerry Lee Lewis.
That's funny.
Well, what's funny is to see he's got a bit where he talks about he goes back to Korea with his dad. And he gets back there and he's like, they all look alike. And I don't speak Korean.
I think my favorite.
I yelled at my dad not to leave me.
I think my favorite bit that I've heard of his, because I haven't actually. I need to see if I can find any of his like actual full routines, because I've only found a few clips. But there's the part where he gets called into the school because his daughter was being a smartass in class.
Yeah.
And
I heard
like,
that one.
He's like, but did she nail the timing?
What are you going to do about this, sir? Did she nail the timing? What? Well, it's funny.
Oh. All right, gents. It's been a very long day, and I still have a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow on top of trying to keep up with everything else. And I told Orty we weren't going to try to stay on for the full 45, and we're getting pretty damn close. So where can folks find you, Amish, so you can drop off first if you want?
Yeah, thanks. I'm if I don't cough a lung out, apparently. You can find me back on Ordnance Packard on Twitter. I'm out of Twitmo. You can find me. You and I are doing Juxtaposition this weekend, unless things happen, as they are wont to do, because things and reasons. You can find me next week, probably on Manorama, back around with you. And there's something in the works that might be happening and coming around in June. I don't want to talk about it yet because I don't want to
try not to jinx it. Try not to jinx it.
Yeah. Not jinxing it. Just let it flow. Let it happen. It's like sex with Kobe Bryant. You can kick and scream all you want. It's just going to happen.
I thought that was P. Diddy.
It kind of is now. He kind of took Kobe's shtick.
kind of.
He kind of took.
Okay, guys, thanks for having me on. I'm like, it's not my, I'm not a co-host, but I've got to get to bed. I have absolutely hit a wall. So, Andrew, good talking to you. Rick, always a pleasure.
Rick.
Good night, everyone.
Night, man.
Thanks, Orty.
Sweet
Appreciate
dreams.
it.
All right, and yeah, I'm pretty wiped out myself. So, Andrew, where can folks find you?
On Zitter at Nuke MM1 Retired. Hang out and chat. And at Toxic Masculinity last Wednesday of every month with you, Orty, our Barbie Baggy, and the G-Man. And one of these days we're going to have to get Jeff on there to get rid of his excuses and whining about not being invited.
Hey, he has been invited onto that show more than once, and every time I do it, he's like, I can't do it that night. I'm like, so you can't say you haven't been invited anymore. And he's like, I'm still gonna.
You know what? Let's have him be our alien of the month.
Hey, that's a new thing. Actually, we should make it like one time a year. We have the honorable mention alien of the year and just have him on.
Yeah, that'll work. Unless he changes the timeline for us.
Well, I still think he's the one secretly pulling the strings at CERN. I'm just saying.
It's not secret anymore. He's just doing it.
Yeah, this is true. All right, as far as me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I just want to say I'll fill in wherever you need me on this. Obviously, it depends on my job, but I have no problem filling in like we did tonight.
Well, again, thank you for stepping up, because otherwise it was going to be me trying to fill an hour or putting up a replay. The good news is when we change over to the new automation, which I plan on doing once I'm not having to take my house apart and put it back together every 2 weeks, then it will make it a little bit easier, so that way even if people can't fill in, it'll take like 2 seconds to make sure that something's in the feed ready to take over instead of all this manual crap all the time, which is another reason why I'm making the change. But anyway, thank you so much for agreeing to step up tonight, because you and I actually haven't done anything together in a while, so it's been kind of fun.
Yep, I've enjoyed it.
As far as where everybody can find me, of course, you can find me on Twitter at RadioX73. You can find me as a contributor on Twitchy.com, LoftusParty.com, and MisfitsPolitics.com when I have content to put out over there. You can find me as the executive producer of the Loftus Party podcast. You can find me here tomorrow, which actually technically dropped yesterday, but he promoted today. You can find me tomorrow doing the Rick Robinson Show, and then again on Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Saturday is next round of spraying, but they're supposed to be here early, so if everything gets cleared out in time and I can get the equipment put together in time, we will definitely still be doing juxtaposition, because I have not done nearly enough work in the last 10 days, and it's starting to wear on my nerves. Other than that, you guys know where else to find me, and thank you so much for hanging out. This is not how
Rick's
we...
a workaholic. Everybody say hello to Rick.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Rick. I'm a workaholic. My last meeting was forever ago. So this goes out to a very specific person, and she knows why, even though it's not normally how we close the show. But we will see you guys when we see you, and thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed Chat Lives Matter Day and Chat Lives Matter Night. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.